Donal Trump. Volodymyr Zelensky has no cards in peace negotiations.
Israel releases more than 600 Palestinian prisoners. Hamas frees 6 hostages.
Pilgrimage tours, a travel trend at the beginning of the year.
You are watching today's news on NTV. My name is Nguyễn Thị and I will be your guide through today's latest update. In a radio interview with the Fox News, US President Donald Trump said that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has no card and is not very important in peace talk with Russia.
In an interview with Fox News on February 21st, US President Donald Trump continued to criticize Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He said that it was not important for Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to be involved in talks to end war with Russia. Mr. Trump acknowledged that Russia attacked Ukraine, but he said that former President Joe Biden and President Zelensky must be held responsible because they were unable to stop Russia from launching a special military operation. The comments from the Trump administration come as a war of words between Trump and Zelensky escalated after the Ukrainian leader criticized the US for holding talks with Russia in Saudi Arabia without Kiev's participation.
As planned, on February 22nd, the Israeli government and Hamas movement will conduct the largest hostage and prisoner exchange between the two sides since the Gaza ceasefire agreement took effect on January 19.
The group of hostages 6 includes Aliyah Cohen, Omer Shem Tov, Tal Shoham, Omer Wenkert, Hasham al-Sayed and Avera Mengistu. In return, Israel is expected to release 602 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. This is the final hostage and prisoner exchange in the first phase of the ceasefire agreement. At the end of February 20th, Israel accused Hamas of violating the ceasefire by handing over an unidentified body instead of the remains of hostage Shiri Bibas that were due to be returned along with the bodies of her 2 small sons. Hamas said her remains appear to have been mixed up with other human remains after an Israeli airstrike. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu threatened to make Hamas pay the full price for failing to return the Shiri Bibas' body, but he held back from walking away from the ceasefire agreement, which took effect on January 19.
Senior leaders of Vietnam and Cambodia reaffirmed their commitment to deepening the traditional friendship, comprehensive cooperation, and long-term sustainable partnership between the party, state, and people of the two countries in the new context at a high-level meeting in Ho Chi Minh City on February 21st.
The meeting between the Politburo of the Communist Party of Vietnam, CPV, and the Central Committee of the Cambodian People's Party, CPP, was co-chaired by General Secretary of the CPV Central Committee To Lam and CPP President Hun Sen, who is also President of the Cambodian Senate. At the meeting, Party General Secretary To Lam and CPP President Hun Sen exchanged views on global and regional developments and discussed issues of mutual concern. They also reviewed the results of past cooperation and agreed on future directions for collaboration. The two senior leaders reaffirmed that solidarity and mutual support between the two parties and countries is an objective necessity, a historical rule, and one of the greatest sources of strength that is vital to the revolutionary cause and the construction and defense of both nations. It is also a valuable asset for both peoples that must be preserved, nurtured, and passed down to future generations.
Coming up next are some updated news.
The Vietnamese government issued on February 21st a declaration establishing the baseline for measuring the breadth of Vietnam's territorial waters in the Gulf of Tonkin. The establishment of the baseline in the Gulf of Tonkin aims to exercise Vietnam's rights and obligations under the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, and aligns with the 2012 Law of the Sea of Vietnam. The baseline serves as a legal foundation for defining Vietnam's maritime boundaries and the extent of its maritime areas in accordance with the UNCLOS and the Agreement on the Delimitation of the Gulf of Tonkin signed between Vietnam and China in 2000. It provides a robust legal framework for protecting and exercising Vietnam's sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction.
On February 21st, Vietnam's Ministry of Industry and Trade decided to impose temporary anti-dumping duties on certain hot-rolled coil (HRC) products originating from India and China. Accordingly, the temporary anti-dumping duties on imported products from China will range from 19.38% to 27.83%, effective from March 8. Meanwhile, the investigation agency confirmed the signs of dumping practices for the imported goods from India. However, as the import volume was insignificant, below 3%, these products were excluded from the temporary anti-dumping duty measures.
According to the Nghệ An Employment Service Center, in early 2025, 44 enterprises in the whole province need to recruit over 17,000 workers. In the first months of 2025, enterprises in the province are implementing policies to attract workers. Specifically, the electronics industry has the largest number of workers in need of recruitment, with more than 11,000 people at companies in the VSIP industrial zone. For the textile industry, 11 enterprises need to recruit more than 1.900 workers. Currently, Nghệ An province has over 1.6 million workers, accounting for nearly 50% of the total population of the province, 3.3 million people.
Starting from the Lunar New Year till the end of the second lunar month, many festivals take place across the country. On this occasion, pilgrimage tourism becomes more exciting than ever.
Anticipating the need for spiritual tourism at the beginning of the new year, travel businesses have proactively built tours and pilgrimage routes for the market since the end of 2024. On this occasion, not only domestic tourism but also international tours attracts visitors. During the spring festivals at the beginning of the year, customers often choose short-term tours and travel routes. Especially in early 2025, Mak Chau, Lai Chau is one of the attractive destinations for tourists. At Viet Travel or Vilotha companies, during this time, average per day, 5 to 6 tourist group come to spiritual places and festivals in provinces and cities. The number of domestic and international tourists increased by 10 to 20% compared to the same period last year.
At the beginning of the new year, customers' needs are a combination of travel and pilgrimage. People often go to pagodas and participate in rituals to pray for peace.
Choosing to go on a pilgrimage at the beginning of the new year is to pray for peace, while also relaxing and experiencing regional culture.
At the beginning of the new year, I want to take my family on a pilgrimage, so we can sightsee and worship the temple.
Most large and small festivals attract a large number of visitors and experiencers. Therefore, developing spiritual and cultural tourism will contribute to strengthening the connection between many different destinations.
That is the end of today's news. Thanks for your watching and see you next time.